Hey, welcome to Weld.com, home of TIG time. Hi, I'm Mr. TIG, and we're filming here on site at Punta Gorda, down here in Florida, and I'm training some older gentlemen. And when I say older, when you reach 40, your eyesight starts changing. So I call that older, and I'm teaching them how to weld. And what I'm finding is that the message isn't getting out there. For instance, if you've learned how to MIG weld or stick weld, you reach out this far to find an item to weld, and you got good vision. When you're TIG welding, you need to do like reading glasses. You need to be like reading a book where you're only about 12 to 15 inches away. It makes all the world of whether or not you're going to be successful. So I'm finding most of the guys here can't see 12 to 15 inches away. Now, why is that? You know, you've got all kinds of types of glasses that you can use. In fact, I brought 3 of them here just to show you which ones work and which ones are difficult to use. So here's the first one. If you're wearing progressive lenses, now what that means is this thing is cut, and as you adjust your head, you might be able to find a focal point 12 to 15 inches, but it's tough. You're already trying to learn a tough process in TIG welding, see the puddle, dab, dab, dab. You've got all these functions going on. The last thing you need is progressive lenses. So if you've got these, you're not going to have much success doing TIG welding. Okay, well here's the next. These are bifocals, and it's better. It's a little bit easier to see, but if you look at the top half of these glasses, these are rated at a 1.25, so it's designed for distance. But down here at the bottom, it's something higher, 2.0. But there's just a little sliver, a little narrow area. So you find yourself adjusting, trying to find that sweet spot and trying to find where the puddle is, but you can't find it. So I don't recommend these. And the same thing goes with trifocals. You've got this little sweet spot, very, very difficult. Okay, so I've pretty much tossed those out. If I get into a bind, I go down to my local grocery store or go down to a Walgreens or CVS or one of those stores, and I just get reading glasses. Now, I happen to be using 2.0. My range is 1.75 to 2.0. They're very inexpensive, and if I lose these, I go buy another one. But really, when you put these on, you have pretty good vision, pretty good field of vision. Your focus is just right, but they're still kind of uncomfortable. They still slide or slip on your face. And as you drop the hood down, now you're not sure if you're in focus or not. So here's what I recommend. Go to this thing right here. We call this a cheater lens. Now this cheater lens happens to be a 2.0 cheater lens. And all you do is you slide it inside your helmet, and it's always there. So when you drop the hood, you're in focus. Okay, if you would zoom in on this and see how I place this cheater lens, because it's there all the time, and when I flip my hood down, I'm ready to go. Okay, now I also want to explain that when you're welding different materials, and let's just say that I'm going to weld some mild steel, which I am right now. The lumens coming off the mild steel, or the brightness, kind of like wattage of a light bulb, it's not very bright at all. So you may have a tougher time seeing that. Then I'm going to do aluminum just to show you that the lumens are much higher, and you actually have a better chance of seeing the puddle with aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and put my gear on, and I'm going to run steel first, and then I'm going to run aluminum, and let you compare the two and see how the brightness affects you. But again, I'm using a 2.0, and this helmet right here, it's a quick change helmet, auto darkening. I've got it auto darkening right around a shade 10, but this one's an automatic darkening, so it'll adjust according to the lumens that it's seeing. So let me get my gear on and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to weld steel first. So I've got the machine set up on DC negative. It's 16 gauge material, so it's not going to take a lot of amperage, so it's going to be fairly dim, if you will, or the lumens are not going to be bright enough to really change a lot. It barely changes the helmet. So I'm going to run that first. I run maybe an inch, inch and a half of weld, so you can watch it. Okay, so I just gave it enough amperage to create a puddle. Dabbing, dabbing, dab, 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 dab. And that's just a technique that I like to get a nice rhythm going. Dab, dab. Okay, I don't know what amperage, but I'm guessing I may be around 40 or 50 amps. And I'm finishing my weld. I back off very slowly. Don't create a crater crack. And that weld is done. Okay, now that was just a bead on plate. I just did that so you could see it. So I'm going to go ahead and change the machine over. I've got to go to AC and let you see the difference in, how bright it is. Okay, now I set my machine on AC, no other changes. I've still got the same tungsten, the same gas flow, 15 to 20 CFH. Tungsten is 1/16 diameter. And AC, going to weld aluminum, just going to do a bead on plate. I'm just going to go side by side to the steel, and you're going to see that the weld is a little bit wider. You have to wait a little longer at the start to heat the material up, but characteristics are very bright. Okay, so I don't know, I'm probably welding somewhere around 50, 60, 70 amps. And I'm going to get to the termination of the weld, add a little extra filler, and then stop. Okay, now that I finished the two welds, it was so easy to see that when you weld DC, the arc isn't as bright. AC, the arc is much brighter. So no matter how you adjust for your eyes, if you've got perfect eyes, that's great. I talked to one gentleman, he's actually got implants, and he's well over 40 years old, and he can see very sharply at 12 inches. So that's the key, 12 to 15 inches, whether you use progressive. Just know that there's difficulty. I'd toss those away. Just go down to your local drugstore. This is your cheapest route, $3 or $4, and you're in business. Now, if you need this cheater lens, the best way to do it is to go to your drugstore, take a look at the glasses, put them on, and read the fine print. You're going to find which one you like the best. Now, as soon as you find that, mine happens to be 2.0. Then you can buy these. They're only about $9. So just know you put them in your helmet, leave them there, and nobody else will bother your helmet. Trust me. Thanks for watching TIG Time. I'm Mr. TIG.